I never believed in horror stories. To me, they were just exaggerated tales meant to scare children or entertain bored minds. That was until I took the night shift job at the Santa Monica Hotel. It was an old hotel on the outskirts of the city, not exactly abandoned, but not very busy either. The kind of place where guests came only when they had no other option. The pay was decent, and I needed money, so I didn't ask too many questions when I got hired. My duty was simple: handle late check-ins, monitor CCTV cameras, and respond to guest complaints during the night. On my first night, the manager, Mr. Chris Cairns, gave me a quick tour. "Most floors are empty," he said casually. "Guests usually stay on the second and third floors. Avoid the fourth floor unless absolutely necessary." I laughed. "Why? Haunted or something?" He didn't laugh back. "Just avoid it." That should have been my first warning. The first few nights were uneventful. A couple of late check-ins, some room service calls, nothing unusual. But on the sixth night, things started to feel off. It was around 1:30 a.m. when the reception phone rang. "Front desk," I said. There was silence for a few seconds. Then a faint whisper. "Help me." I sat up straight. "Hello? Who is this?" "Room 508. The line went dead. I checked the system. Room 508 was on the fourth floor. My chest tightened. No one had checked into that room for weeks. I told myself it was probably a prank, maybe one of the staff messing with me. Still, something about that voice. It didn't sound like a joke. I picked up the master key and headed toward the elevator. The fourth floor felt different the moment the elevator doors opened. The lights flickered. The hallway was colder than the rest of the hotel, and there was a strange smell, like damp walls mixed with something rotten. I walked slowly, my footsteps echoing in the empty corridor. Room 508 was at the very end. As I approached, I noticed the door was slightly open. That was impossible. All rooms were locked. "Hello?" I called. No response. I pushed the door open. The room was dark. The curtains were drawn, and the air inside felt heavy. I reached for the switch, but the light didn't turn on. That's when I heard it. A faint sound, like someone crying. "Is anyone here?" I asked, my voice shaking. The crying stopped. Then, from the corner of the room, a woman's voice whispered, "You shouldn't be here." I froze. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. "Who are you?" I managed to say. No answer. I took a step back toward the door. Suddenly, the bathroom door slammed shut. I jumped. The crying started again, louder this time. I didn't think. I ran. I didn't stop until I reached the reception. My hands were shaking. I tried to calm myself down, telling myself it was just stress, just imagination. But deep down, I knew what I heard was real. The next morning, I confronted Mr. Cairns. "What's in room 508? I demanded. He looked at me for a long moment, then sighed. "You went there, didn't you?" I didn't answer. He rubbed his forehead. "Years ago, a woman stayed in that room. She was alone, checked in late at night, no luggage." "What happened to her?" "She was found dead the next morning, in the bathroom." A chill ran down my spine. "Cause of death?" He said suicide, but he hesitated. The staff who found her said her face looked terrified, like she saw something before she died. I swallowed hard. "And since then?" I asked. Guests who stayed there complained about whispers, crying. Sometimes they'd see someone standing in the bathroom mirror behind them. I felt sick. "Why is the room still there?" He gave a bitter smile. "Owners don't believe in ghosts. They believe in profit." That night, I considered quitting, but I needed the job, so I told myself I'd just avoid the 4th floor. Everything was fine until 1:30 a.m. The phone rang again. My heart sank. I stared at it for a few seconds before picking it up. "Front desk." Silence. Then, "Why did you leave me?" It was the same voice. I can call the police if this is a prank." I tried to sound brave. Soft laughter echoed through the receiver. "You saw me." The line cut. At that exact moment, all the lights in the lobby flickered. The CCTV screens went static. Then, one by one, they turned back on. Except one. Camera 9, 4th floor corridor. I stared at the screen. There she was, a woman in a white dress, standing outside room 508. Her head was tilted at an unnatural angle. Her hair covered most of her face. Slowly, she lifted her head. Even through the grainy footage, I could see her eyes. They were completely black. Then she smiled. The screen went black. I don't remember what happened next. When I woke up, it was morning. I was lying on the reception floor. Mr. Cairns was standing over me. "You saw her, didn't you?" he asked quietly. I didn't reply. I just stood up, grabbed my bag, and walked out. I never went back. A week later, I read a news article. "Night receptionist found dead in hotel bathroom." My heart stopped. The photo showed the same hotel, same floor, same room. Room 508. And the worst part was, the article mentioned something that made my blood run cold. The receptionist had been found with a look of pure terror on his face, just like the woman. I still get calls sometimes at night. Unknown number. I never answer. But once, just once, I made the mistake, and all I heard was a whisper, "Come back."